If you're a digital entrepreneur, you know your tech stack can either be your best friend or your worst enemy. It can literally make or break your business. So today, we're putting one of the biggest all-in-one platforms, Kajabi, right under the microscope. And we're asking a really important question as we look ahead. Is Kajabi still the gold standard for creators in 2026? All right, let's kick things off with a problem that I bet almost every successful creator hits at some point. And it's not writer's block or a lack of ideas. No, it's a technical one. I'm talking about the absolute chaos of tool overload. So does this sound familiar to you? You've got one tool for your website, right? Then another one for your email list, a different one for your online course, and, oh yeah, another one for your community. It's this constant digital juggling act, and honestly, it's just exhausting. And this is what that chaos actually looks like. You're spending hours wrestling with Zapier just trying to get all your different apps to talk to each other. You're paying for like a dozen different subscriptions that are adding up way faster than you thought. Your website plugins are starting to conflict with each other, breaking things. And maybe the worst part, your students get this clunky, totally disconnected experience. It's just a huge drain on your time and your money. So what's the alternative to this mess? Well, the market was practically screaming for an integrated solution. And that's exactly where Kajabi stepped in, promising to be that all-in-one answer. Now, this is super important. Kajabi isn't just another course platform. Think of it more like the central nervous system for a modern digital business. It's designed to handle everything: your online courses, your memberships, coaching programs, even your podcasts, all in one place. And that right there is the core promise. It's simple. No more clicking between 10 different browser tabs. No more integration headaches. Just one single, clean dashboard to run your whole show. Okay, that sounds fantastic in theory, right? But does the platform actually deliver on that promise? Let's peek inside this powerhouse and see what features are really backing it all up. So if you look at how Kajabi is set up, its features are basically built around the three main things you do in a digital business. First, you build. So that's your website builder, landing pages, and hosting for all your content like courses and podcasts. Then you sell. This is your payment processing, sales funnels, they call them pipelines, and even affiliate management. And finally, and this is so important, you engage. That's where you find your integrated email, community spaces, and even webinars. It really is a complete ecosystem. And when you look at what users are saying, two big benefits of this all-in-one approach really stand out. First is just the professional polish. Your high-ticket offers, they just look and feel way more premium on Kajabi. And second, speed. We're talking about the ability to go from a brand new idea to a fully launched product in like a fraction of the time it would take otherwise. And the platform isn't just sitting still. They're constantly updating. The key updates heading into 2026 are all focused on what we need right now. Things like AI to help you create content faster, which is a huge time saver, big improvements to page loading speeds, which we all know is critical for sales, and a much better mobile app experience so you can meet your students wherever they are. All right, so an all-in-one powerhouse sounds pretty amazing. But there's always a but, isn't there? Let's get real for a second and talk about the price you have to pay for all this power. This is really the fundamental trade-off you have to think about. When you compare it to simpler, more focused tools, yeah, Kajabi has a much higher price. And while it's truly all-in-one, that also means there's a steeper learning curve, especially when you're trying to figure out its more advanced automation features. So the takeaway is pretty clear. Those simpler tools might be fine for a side hustle, but Kajabi, it's really built for a serious, full-time business. And here are the numbers, plain and simple. You're looking at plans that range from about $150 up to $400 a month, and sometimes even more, depending on what you need. So yeah, this isn't some casual investment. It's a real, serious business expense. So when it comes down to it, the two main arguments against Kajabi are pretty straightforward. It's the cost, and it's the initial complexity, the time it takes to really learn the system. You've got to be ready to commit to both of those things. So, after weighing this incredible power against that pretty significant cost, where does that leave us? Let's get to the final verdict. Even with those drawbacks, the verdict is actually pretty clear. For creators who are serious about selling premium digital products, courses, and coaching, Kajabi really is still the gold standard for 2026. The power of having everything in one unified ecosystem is just, well, it's that compelling. And this final scorecard really puts it all into perspective. That high 4.7 score, that reflects its sheer power. But it also shows it's not for everybody. It's really designed for serious creators. Its key strengths, that all-in-one ecosystem and its potential for high conversions, they directly solve that problem of chaos we talked about at the beginning. But remember, they come at the price of cost and that initial learning curve. Which leaves us with one last question, and this one's for you to think about. When you look at your own business, at your own goals, is that chaos of juggling a dozen different tools actually what's holding you back? And could a powerful all-in-one platform be the one missing piece you need to really scale up?